Okay, so today we are going to start with the laser printers. Ashish, इस तरफ आना इधर आ जाओ. Okay. Okay, laser printers. In the last class, we discussed that when are we going to use the laser printers when we do require the high quality as well as more quantity. Quantity or quality, जब दोनों चीजें required है, in that case only in that case we are going to utilize the laser printers. So now there are few of the things that are related to the laser printers. उन्होंने यहाँ पे कुछ जिक्र किया है कि stages in process, that means the serial number and then description of what happens, what is going to happen regarding that. Like for example, it's point number 1. It says the data from the document is sent to the printer driver. As we already discussed, that printer driver is a type of the utility software. What type of the utility software it is? It is the type of the utility software that basically creates a link between the hardware यानी कि प्रिंटर और जिस एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर के ऊपर, जिस ऐप के ऊपर आपने प्रिंट आउट दिया है, उसके दरमियान में और हार्डवेयर के दरमियान में जो चीज आपका कनेक्शन बिल्डअप कर रही है, दैट इज नोन एज द प्रिंटर driver. The second point was something that it ensures that it is in the format that printer can understand. That means it should be in the format that is in the binary. क्योंकि आपके जैसी बात है कि प्रिंटर कौन सी लैंग्वेज समझेगा, बाइनरी लैंग्वेज समझ रहा होगा. Point number 3, a check is made. What type of check is made? Basically, a check is made to check whether printer is available or not. ऐसा तो नहीं है प्रिंटर कोई और जॉब कर रहा है, प्रिंटर के अंदर इंक मौजूद है या नहीं है, प्रिंटर के अंदर पेपर मौजूद है या नहीं है, ये तमाम चीजें आपके पास जो है वो प्रिंटर ड्राइवर चेक करता है. Then our data is then sent to the printer and is stored, and it is stored in the temporary memory known as the printer buffer. As you already knew कि buffer आपके पास क्या है, वो temporary memory location है जहाँ पे आपके पास data load होगा. Now coming to point number 5, it's a point kind of an important point for you guys. Buffer पे दोनों का same होता है, inkjet का और laser का. Now for the point number 5, it says the start of the printing process involves the printing drum. Now for example, it's a printing drum. ये थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा गोल मोटोल सा हो गया, okay? And it says that the entire printing drum is basically given a positive charge. It's entirely given a positive charge at the initial moment. Now it says that a laser beam is passed down. एक laser beam आपके पास से गुजरती है, and it is going to remove the positive charges from those areas where we do require the printing process to be done. ठीक है? Now these charges will be turned into negative. These charges will be turned into negative charges. ये किसमें हो जाएंगे? पॉजिटिव से आपके पास किसमें आ गया? आपके पास नेगेटिव चार्जेस के अंदर आ गया. ओके, just hold on. Stop share. Okay, so अब आपके पास क्या होगा? नेगेटिव चार्जेस आ जाएंगे यहाँ पे. So for the negative charges, अब आपके पास क्या हो रहा है? It says the laser beam will scan across it, removing the positive charges in certain areas. This leaves negatively charged areas, which exactly match the text image of the page to be printed. आपके पास क्या होगा? Exactly उन areas के ऊपर negatively charged particles आ जाएंगे जहाँ पे आपको printing required है. Further, it says point number 6, the drum is then coated with the positively charged toner. Now toner is a type of the powdered ink. आपके पास जो ink होती है वो आपके पास क्या होती है? Positively charged है. ये आपके पास क्या कहला रहा है? टोनर कहला रहा है. Okay, since the toner is positively charged, it only sticks to the negatively charged parts of the drum. That means किन areas के ऊपर stick कर रहा होगा? Let me draw it for you guys. सिर्फ इन एरियाज के ऊपर जो आपका नेगेटिवली चार्ज एरियाज हैं, सिर्फ इन एरियाज के ऊपर ये आपके पास स्टिक करेगा. लीविंग बिहाइंड द पॉजिटिव एरियाज के ऊपर वो स्टिक नहीं करेगा. Why? Because unlike charges attract each other while the like charges repel each other. Further आपके पास क्या बोलते हैं? अच्छा, जब ये टोनर स्टिक हो गया तो बेसिकली आपके पास इंटायरली इस वक्त ड्रम कौन सी चार्जेस से फिलअप हो गया है? एनीवन? नेगेटिव चार्जेस थे, उसके ऊपर टोनर आके स्टिक हुआ जो कि पॉजिटिवली चार्ज था. तो अब बेसिकली इंटायरली ड्रम के ऊपर कौन से चार्जेस आ गए? पॉजिटिव आ गए. सम विद द टोनर एंड सम विदाउट टोनर. ऐसा ही है. शीज क्लियर है पॉइंट? मूविंग अहेड. Point number 7, the negatively charged sheet of the paper is then rolled over the drum. अब आपके एक sheet of paper है that is given the negative charges and drum is given the positive charges. ठीक है, वो जैसी रोल होगी ड्रम के ऊपर, अब क्या होगा? all the positive charges will attract towards the negative charges and they will stick over the drum, on the sheet के ऊपर तमाम चार्जेस आपके पास स्टिक हो जाएंगे. लेकिन आपको कौन से वाले नजर आएंगे? only with the toner. The positive charges with the toner सिर्फ आपको वही charges नजर आएंगे, इसके अलावा charges नजर नहीं आ रहे होंगे आपको. Point number 8 says the toner on the drum now sticks to the paper to produce an exact copy of the paste sent to the printer. तो सवाल है ऐसे. Point number 9. To prevent the paper sticking to the drum, the electric charge on the paper is removed after one rotation of the drum. क्यों remove कर दिया जाता है? So that it should not stick to the drum. Paper आपका stick ना हो जाए drum के ऊपर. The paper finally goes through the fusor. Fusor आपके पास क्या चीज होती है? Type of the heated material. या आपके पास rollers होते हैं जो आपके पास toner को melt कराते हैं और वहाँ पे completely permanently stick करा देते हैं paper के ऊपर, so that it's not going to move and all. और आपके पास फैलेगा नहीं paper के ऊपर. Further it says the paper heated through the heated rollers, the heat melts the ink so that it fixes permanently to the paper. Point number 11. At the very end, a discharge lamp removes all the electric charges from the drum, making it ready for the next page. Applications of the inkjet and the laser. Now, what are the applications of the inkjet and lasers? तो जल्दी से go through कर लीजिए. इसमें कोई चीज ऐसी जो आपको समझ में ना आ रही हो, so just let me know. Be quick. Okay, now we are going to move ahead with the application. After the applications, we are coming towards the 3D printers. Now we were discussing about the 2D printers. 2D printers में हमने बात की that they are printing on X and Y axis. 2D आपके पास कितने पे काम कर रहे थे? X and Y axis के ऊपर काम कर रहे थे. Now when it comes to the 3D printers, the 3D printers are working on 3 dimensions. That's X, Y, and Z axis. कितने एक्सिस पे काम करता है? X, Y, and Z axis के ऊपर काम करेगा. Now when it comes to the 3D printer, so 3D printer में size from a small microwave till a small car. एक छोटे से माइक्रोवेव से लेके आपके पास एक छोटी सी कार तक आपके पास ये हो सकता है बहुत इजीली. Now moving ahead, अब आपके पास जब 3D printers के ऊपर आते हैं तो 3D printers are basically utilizing two of the concepts. Now the one is the additive method and the other one is the subtractive. Let me show it for you guys. Okay, these are the additive method and the other one is the subtractive method. Now just give me a second so that I can show you a picture ताकि आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा concept का idea हो जाए. Just give me a second. I am going to pause the recording for a second. So I explain. Okay, so this is the method that I need to show you guys. This method को मैं आपको show है. You can see over here these lasers are basically making up the layers and this is known as the additive method जो आपके पास layer by layer जिसके अंदर आपके पास कोई भी object create हो रहा है. Similarly, the other one was the subtractive method. Now, what is the subtractive method? And when it comes to the subtractive method, so in subtractive method, you are basically removing an object, an excess amount of the object. You are going to remove that, and finally, you are going to give a proper shape to a particular material. That is known as the subtractive method. जिस तरह आपके पास wood block के अंदर से आप लोग कोई भी एक image create करते हैं. Sorry. वुड कार्विंग जिसको आप कहते हैं, राइट? तो वुड कार्विंग करने के बाद आपके पास बेसिकली कोई भी एक शेप आप उसके ऑब्जेक्ट की क्रिएट कर लेते हैं. दैट इज बेसिकली नोन एज द subtractive method. Now these are the two methods. Now further moving on, when it comes to the 3D printing, so there are again two types of the 3D printing. That's the direct 3D printing and the other one is the binder 3D printing. So what is the direct 3D printing? It says it uses of the inkjet technology. A print head can move left to right, up and down, as well as on the Z axis, आपके पास ये सारे एक्सिस के ऊपर मूव कर रहा होगा. In direct 3D printing, it says it is similar to the direct 3D printing. Sorry, for binding 3D printing, it says it's similar to the direct 3D printing. However, this method uses two passes for each of the layers. The first pass sprays the dry powder, and then on the second pass, a binder type of a glue is sprayed on the solid layer. Now, what is the binder? Binder is a type of the glue जो वो आपके उस object को क्या करेगा? Solid shape के अंदर turn कर देगा, so that you can easily see that particular object या उसके बाद एक solid shape आपके पास आ सके. Now they are saying further, newer technologies are over there that are using the ultraviolet lights to harden liquids polymer. This further increases the diversity. That means कि आपकी durability उस चीज की और ज़्यादा वो बेहतर कर देते हैं. Now this is something. These are the flow charts for the steps that we have just discussed. Now you may see on the first step it says a design is made using a CAD. CAD आपके पास एक software that we have already discussed about the features of the CAD. That what are the features of the CAD? We discussed that it works in the X, Y, and the Z axis. We also discussed that it is capable of performing some type of the calculations. We also discussed that it is capable of performing some other tasks as well, like it allows you to work in the layer formats and all. Then second point आपके पास क्या है? The finalized drawing is imported into some special software that prepares it in a format which is understood by the 3D printer. जो आपके पास 3D printer के बाद आपके पास समझ जाएगा, like it means it should be in the binary format. Then the 3D printer is set up to allow the solid object to be made. 3D printer आपके पास क्या कर रहा है? Solid object को allow कर रहा है कि वो create हो सके. Finally it says the solid object is built up layer by layer. जैसे अभी हम लोगों ने देखा है छोटी-छोटी layers आपके पास create हो रही थी. Often only 0.1 millimeter thick. It's often only 0.1 millimeter thick. This can take several hours depending on the thickness of the layers, the material used, and the size of the final object. आपका final size of the object जो भी है उसके ऊपर भी depend करेगा. Like for example, in the recent times, France or Germany, I'm forgetting the country about it. They have created a 3D3-dimensional board with the help of the 3D printer. जो आपके पास बिल्कुल accurate board है, आपके पास travel कर रही है समंदर के अंदर, and it takes around 3 to I think so 6 months or 4 months उन्होंने उस board को create करने के लिए लिए थे. Obviously, it was a huge ship that they have created, so it requires a time to get printed and it requires a time to get dry as well. ठीक है? Okay. Now it says the object is removed from the printer and is then prepared for some examples. Some use a jelly-like support that they are talking about the binders, which needs to be washed away by immersion in water. Some requires the removal of the excess plastic powder, जो अभी हमने जिसने wood crafting की अभी जो तुमने बात की थी, ठीक है? And other require the cutting away of unused materials. In many cases, the object has to be left to cure for few hours. Okay. Now it comes with the usage of the 3D printing. So kindly go through these 5 points, and then we can go ahead. Now we are coming towards the 2D and 3D cutters. Now these are somewhat in a similar pattern. They are working in the similar pattern as the subtractive method. ये भी आपको excess amount of the material को remove करेंगे. Obviously 2-dimensional scanner and the 3-dimensional scanner, that means 2 dimensions are working on the x and the y axis. Apart from that, 3-dimensional cutters are working on x, y, and z axis के ऊपर आपके पास काम करेंगे. Falling materials can be used by the 3D cutters. What are those? Glass can be just removed. Excess amount of the glass can be removed. Crystals can be done. Metals can be done. Polymer, a type of plastic can be done. Similarly, wood can be done. Okay, now moving ahead towards the actuators. We have already discussed about the actuators when we were discussing about what about the input devices. सेंसर लिखा हुआ है सामने, ठीक है? सेंसर्स की जब हमने बात की थी तब हमने एक्चुएटर्स के बारे में पढ़ा था. Then it comes with the loudspeakers in the headphones. So loudspeakers in the headphones are the output devices. Obviously, they are the soft copy output devices. Why they are the soft copy output devices? Because you cannot feel the sound, you cannot touch the sound. You can only hear the sound. ठीक है? Now, this is a numerical. Now this kind of the numerical is given in a past paper of around I think so 2015 or 2016 के past papers के अंदर आपका इसके सवाल आया होता है that 44100 samples are done per second, and there are two different speakers for each sample, so it will be multiplied by 2 and one. Obviously, each sample is of 16 bits, so how many total number of the bits per second will be required? तो आपने किया क्या है कि 44100 को टोटल नंबर ऑफ द सैंपल्स को you are going to multiply it by 2 because there are two different speakers, and again you are going to multiply it by 16 so that you can find out the total number of the bits that would be required per second to sample the music. You can simply convert that into bytes as well. If you are going to convert the answer, sorry, if you are going to divide the answer by 8, अगर आप इसको 8 से divide करते तो you can finally get the answer that what will be the answer in the bytes. They have given you as well 1764 times 4 and 00 bytes per second. Stereo sounds होती हैं आपके पास speakers. Okay. Now moving ahead on the LCD and the LED monitors. So when it comes to the LCD and LED monitors, first of all we were not having the LCD monitors, we were not having the LED monitors. We do have the CRT monitors. After the CRT, we came to know about the LCD monitors. After LCD, we came with the concept of the plasma. Then we came to know about the LEDs. And finally, we are on the OLEDs nowadays. Everyone should listen this carefully. Okay, now when it comes to the CRT monitors, what are the CRT monitors? These are the cathode ray tube monitors. ये आपके OLED monitors होते थे जो आप बचपन में आप लोगों ने देखोगे बड़े-बड़े से बल्कि साइज के monitors होते थे, बल्कि साइज के टीवी होते थे. There was a photon gun inside those. Gun का मतलब वो वाली गन नहीं है. Okay. पढ़ लो तो आगे इसमें शुरू करो. So the gun was something that they were firing the photons over here on the screen. तो उसमें आप लोग सर्दियों में करते क्या थे? You just rub your hands up with each other and then you just pass your hand over that screen. आप उस स्क्रीन के ऊपर इस तरह के पास अपना हाथ करते थे तो the charges repel and there was an electric charges over there. आवाज आती थी. कभी किया आप लोगों ने? नहीं किया? हाँ बिल्कुल. किया वही था? नहीं किया. अच्छे काम नहीं करे तुम लोगों ने. खैर. Then after the CRT monitor, obviously they were bulky in size, they were consuming a lot of the electricity, they were taking a lot of space. तो हम किसके ऊपर आए? LCD monitors के ऊपर आए. Now when it comes to the LCD monitors, so these are the liquid crystal display monitors. Now these liquid crystal display monitors were having the CCFL in them, that's the cold cathode fluorescent lamp. लिखा हुआ भी होगा एक मिनट यहाँ पे. The concept of the CCFL, it's written over here. Okay. Cold cathode fluorescent lamp. Okay. Now, these cold cathode fluorescent lamp are the type of the liquid you must have seen on the LCD screens. The LCD screen के ऊपर when you just touch your finger on the screen and you move your finger on the screen, so it moves. It feels like कि आपकी उंगली किसमें चल रही है? पानी के अंदर चल रही है. वहाँ पे layers सी बनती थी. So that was due to the cold cathode fluorescent lamp. It's a type of the liquid that was filled up in a LCD monitor. इसमें issue क्या था आपके पास? That they do not brighten up at their brightest from the initial point. As soon as आपके पास क्या होता जाता था, वो heat up होता जाता था, वैसे वैसे आपके पास क्या होता जाता था, वो और ज़्यादा bright हो जाता था, और ज़्यादा क्या हो जाता था? Bright होता चला जाता था. So that was known as a cold cathode fluorescent lamp, and it requires a backlight source to give the maximum brightness. Then we came to know about the LEDs. Sorry, plasmas. Plasma आप लोग बहुत कम जिक्र करते हैं. What was the issue with the plasma? It was a curve technology. ये साइडों से curve होता था, edges से आपके पास curve होता था. Okay, but it did not go well. ये बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं. ये बीच में पाकिस्तान के अंदर ये बहुत ज़्यादा in हुआ था with the name of the home theaters. Home theaters या home cinemas के नाम से ये बहुत ज़्यादा in हुआ था. लेकिन issue क्या आता था इसके अंदर? From the corners it just create a line. आपके पास लाइन सी क्रिएट हो जाती है, जैसे एलसीडी एलईडीज के ऊपर हो जाती है. अगर वो गिर जाए तो उनके ऊपर एक स्पॉट या एक लाइन आ जाती है. सिमिलरली प्लाज्मा टेक्नोलॉजी के अंदर ये लाइन आ जाती थी. इस वजह से कामयाब प्लाज्मा नहीं, वो एलईडी आ गई है उसके ऊपर होता है. वो एलसीडी है जिस पे पिंक कलर की लाइन आती है, वो एलसीडी है. ठीक है. ओके, नाउ इट कम्स टू द एलईडी. अब एलईडी के अंदर आपके पास क्या हुआ? प्लाज्मा इतनी ज्यादा कामयाब नहीं हुई, सो वी केम टू नो अबाउट द एलईडी. एलईडी इज अ लाइट इमिटिंग डायोड, इट डू नॉट रिक्वायर द बैकलाइट सोर्स, एंड एलईडी आर द टाइप ऑफ द monitors of the screen that they give the maximum brightness from their initial, यानी कि immediately आपके पास from the initial point आपके पास क्या करते हैं? maximum brightness को ये provide कर रहे होते हैं. is that clear? ठीक है. अब आपके पास क्या आता है एलईडी के अंदर? अब एलईडी के अंदर आपके पास फर्दर क्या चीज आ रही है? एलईडी के अंदर फर्दर आपके पास आती है ओएलईडीज, दैट्स द ऑर्गेनिक लाइट इमिटिंग डायोड्स, ओएलईडीज. नाउ यू गाइस मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट द सैमसंग फोन दैट्स ऑफ Z सीरीज, जो आपका फोल्डेबल फोन्स आए. कौन सा है? Z Flip. ठीक है. सो Z Flip इज देयर, ये आपके पास टर्न हो जाता है. इससे पहले आज से कोई 5-6 साल पहले सैमसंग ने दोबारा यही चीज निकालने की कोशिश की थी, लेकिन वो कामयाब नहीं हुई. क्यों कामयाब नहीं हुई? दे वर नॉट यूजिंग द ऑर्गेनिक एलईडीज एट दैट टाइम. नाउ दे हैव यूज्ड ऑर्गेनिक एलईडी, और क्या आपके पास क्या है, इसकी लाइफ ज्यादा है, या अभी तक कोई इसमें ऐसा कंप्लेन नहीं आई है. सो नाउ दीस आर द ओएलईडीज यू कैन सी ऑन योर स्क्रीन राइट नाउ, दे आर अ बिट कर्व्ड. मूविंग अहेड आफ्टर द ओएलईडीज, इसको गो थ्रू कर लेना, इसमें कोई ऐसा समझाने वाली बात इसके अंदर है नहीं, लेकिन इसको प्लीज गो थ्रू कर लीजिएगा. Coming towards the last topic of the output devices, that's known as the light projectors. So light projectors, we are having two types of light projectors, that's the DLP and the LCD projectors. DLP is a type of the projector that is known as the digital light projectors. इसके अंदर आपको एक backlight source की requirement होती है, and they are capable of giving you 16 million colors at a time. कितने millions color आपको show करेगा ये? 16 million colors आपके पास ये show कर रहा होता है. On the other hand, when it comes to the LCD projectors, so they are quite expensive in the term of the maintenance. वजह इसमें एक छोटी सी LCD लगी हुई होती है, and if that LCD just breaks or it gets hurt or it gets disturbed or it malfunctions due to any reason, तब आपके पास वो LCD आपको चेंज करवानी पड़ती है, और उस LCD की आपके पास जो अमाउंट है उसको चेंज कराने की, इतने अमाउंट के अंदर आप एक पूरा नया DLP प्रोजेक्टर परचेज इजीली कर सकते हैं. उस ये DLP, we commonly use the DLP projectors. Is that clear? So that was all for the output devices. Inshallah, in the next class we will be continuing with the output devices for the passive. हम लोग पासिव को कंटिन्यू करेंगे. ठीक है. Thank you so much guys. अल्लाह हाफिज़.